1, and we're live. Welcome to ADHD Podcast, everybody. Welcome to episode 2. What's up, Jimmy?
What's up, Richie?
Oh, man. We're just,
How are those fine folks on planet Earth doing this evening, huh? Saturday night?
Dude, Saturday,
and,
man.
And here we are. So this is, third installment now, right? Number 3?
Well, I think we're going to officially make this our second one. I think we're going to cut the very first one we ran into clips, and we'll send out some of the clips. I don't think we're going to run the whole thing. We went crazy and did like 3 hours for our first one. It was just like, it was way too much. It was just over the fucking top.
Hey, I like over the top, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hey.
So if you're new to the podcast, if you're new to ADHD, my name is Richard Moore, and this is my co-host, confidant, superstar. This is James Koptechny, badass all-around dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you.
Oh, you're welcome, dude. So, man, like, how has today been? I know you've been, in your personal life, you've been playing a lot of poker lately and being really successful. I know you've been really successful with playing poker in the last couple of weeks. Why don't you talk about it some?
Well, I'll get right into that, but first we have to do our opening drink, and this is something that we do, at least the two of us, and for all you fine folks out there, if you feel like grabbing a drink real quick, you know,
right.
let's both have a little cheers before we get into this. It's been a crazy week, I'll say that. So, with that said, I got a little shooter of American honey because I like to be able to, you know, buy one, drink it, and then throw it in somebody else's trash can incognito style, you know?
Boom.
So, boom. All right, well,
Wedding
everybody
Crasher
out
style
there,
for Jimmy.
right on, man. Well, salute everybody.
Salute everybody.
Let's finish it.
Cheers. Nostrovia.
The only thing I don't like about it is when the motherfucker is hot or room temperature. It's hard to drink, but
that's terrible.
Not too bad though. So, back on subject. Yeah, the poker, man. Poker in life. It's a crazy thing, man. It's I don't know. This game is it's definitely an integral part of who I am as an adult.
Right, definitely.
You know, and my introduction to it was in about, I would say about the middle to the end of 2004 when the World Series of Poker was really blowing up and, you know, all over ESPN and stuff, and you see these field of thousands of people just trying to snap off a dream and, you know, come up $8 or $9 million and all the glory that comes with it. And
I think it was a splendor back then, man. It was like a splendor. Like it drew so many people in. Go ahead.
Yeah,
man.
and then like that coupled with online poker kind of coming together and getting really starting to really kick off about that time. It opened up a whole new world for me. Really love the game. That's all I can say about it. It's so complex because it's not a solvable thing because of the infinite number of variables. So,
right.
You know, if you like gaming, in general competition and things where you can employ more than, you know, one type of move, it's really addicting. And for me, I prefer to play no limit Texas Hold'em cash. Still a low stakes player, typically 1-2, 1-3. I've been dabbling a little bit in some small stakes tournaments, a little bit of pot limit Omaha.
Yeah.
But that game I don't really know well enough to even.
It's a hard game. Omaha is such a. The complexities of Omaha are like they're so intricate because like your starting hand, you would think it would be amazing, right? If you started out with a hand that was 4 aces, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. You have nowhere to go. You got all the cards you need.
Right. That's the problem with it. But, you know, I just noticed, like, in my little dabbles with it in, like, micro stakes online cash, which means, you know, you're buying in for $5 or whatever. And
yeah.
playing like 5 cent, 10 cent, or whatever. The value of certain hands definitely changes. It's not the same end result. So you have to kind of like gear your game more towards the higher end cards as far as like
straights, flushes.
You know, well, even straights are really just not even that good anymore. It's you know, 3 of a kind usually sometimes holds up, but you've always got to worry about quads a lot more often, a lot more full houses. And a lot of times the game is a lot more aggressive where there will be multiple people in a pot and all in. And so you've got to beat more people typically instead of, in most cases, you're heads up or, you know, maybe 3 people at the river card and regular no limit. But it's interesting, man. A lot of the people that I look up to and, you know, communicate with in my network are, you know, they're gearing their games a lot more towards that, and I think it's mostly because the swings are a lot bigger. So
they are.
When you have a really good day, you win a lot more money in that game than you would playing no limit and holding for the same stakes.
Do you remember back in like 04? Okay, and we used to go and we used to play a lot of poker back then. We used to play a fuck ton of poker, and do you remember the guys that used to play No Limit Omaha at the old Ameristar Casino back in the fucking day? Like, back when the poker room was on the left side of the casino instead of the right side of the casino.
Right.
And the guys would sit with 15 grand, like no problem, in front of them constantly.
Yeah, the bigger games of that are, at least in my viewing of it anymore, I haven't seen anything really above 2.5 pot limit Omaha, and that game rarely runs at any of the casinos here.
Right.
Not to say it's the same in other cities or whatever, but I just don't think it has the market for it as much because people are, you know, like even in 2.5, people are still sitting down with a couple $1,000s or whatever, and it's still a massive game in comparison to like 2.5 no limit or whatever. And
well, like, you know, on the up and up, remember how the kind of people that used to play the you know what I mean? Used to play that Omaha game. You know what I mean? The pot limit Omaha game. And just the, like we basically, remember that one night that dude, I'm not going to say his name. You know what I mean? He sat down and me and him and you, we wound up in the same poker tournament. I came in second. I think you got busted out a little bit early, right? And then we sat down. We played no limit Texas Hold'em, right?
Yeah.
And remember when we were leaving, dude? He was asking us what we did for a living. We were like, you know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know what I mean? And he was like, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If you want an opportunity, he was like, I'm a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the guy was Middle Eastern. You know what I mean? He's a Middle Eastern guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm a drug dealer. And it like explained everything. You know what I mean? It just like instantly explained everything. I was like, oh, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like getting to know the guy and shit is like, oh, that makes sense.
We like to party, you know, and we're pretty talkative individuals. We like to socialize, and you know, I'm not the type of guy that sits at the poker table dead stone cold silent. I actually employ a lot of table talk into my game as far as just getting people to think one way or a certain mind frame, and but the whole thing is an act. I mean, I put on a complete facade as far as a very upbeat, friendly guy that tries to crack a couple jokes. It's not really who I am in real life.
Oh, you're closer to that. I think you're really closer to that than like, because like you'll flip the switch and be the complete opposite guy too. You know what I mean? You'll be the quiet, ganked all your money bad guy, the heel at the table. If that makes sense, you'll be the heel.
Heely's heel.
You know,
is sitting there like a sniper in the weeds, and sometimes I'll even say that line like in the middle of a hand. So if you ever hear me say that, I'm never bluffing. I'm just waiting in the weeds like a sniper, waiting for you to make a move, and I'm going to get your chips because I view it as competition. I mean, this is, to me, that's the biggest drive for me. It's not even really about the end result. It's that I like to out-psych people, outplay them, catch them in traps. There's a million different ways to play it and styles, and all that information's already up on YouTube. So if you play poker, you're already on the up and up. But if you're a newcomer to the game, man, and you're trying to learn, a little bit about it. I'll go ahead and plug a couple of my people out there. Some good resources to look up. Conscious Poker, Alex Torelli, he's my poker coach, very successful, high-level professional.
Right.
Also look into Upswing Poker, ran by Doug Polk, another very successful tournament and high-stakes cash player. And then there's a bunch of people that I follow on video logs that are more of an individual base, but Johnny Vibes, he has a video log that's really good. He's out of San Diego. You have Jamin Burton, who's out of St. Louis. He's the only guy that I know of out here that actually does video logs fairly frequently. And then there's a few others like Brad Owen and Andrew Nemi. They all seem like upstanding individuals, and hopefully one day I can get into a cash game with some of these guys. It'd be fun. I feel like I have an edge because they have all their content up on the internet, and they've never played me. So I'm going to call them out now. If you guys are ever going to step down to play 1-3 no limit, Richie and Jimmy would love to sit down with you somewhere and have a cash game. And maybe talk about some poker and have some drinks, man. Wish them all the best of the luck. They're all great people from what I've understood so far of them, and just following their content and information. But yeah, man, all the information's out there. YouTube, man, check their channels out. They're all very accessible people too. There's countless amounts of information as far as way to play your hands and strategies.
That's definitely a huge difference. Remember when we were getting started, it wasn't like this. You know what I mean? There wasn't this kind of like you had to find individuals like videos. Like they made actual DVD sets. They made actual, you had to hunt all this information down. You had to go read books. You know what I mean? You had to hunt down the information. And it was nothing like it is now with all the video blogs and with all the YouTube channels. And it was nothing like that. It was either you got in and you found the information, you studied and you worked hard at it, or you just didn't have the information and you're basically going to trial and error yourself through poker, which would be terrible.
Well, that's how I did it.
Well, I mean, we studied some, man. That wasn't...
It's not the best strategy for sure. There's a lot more information out there now. It's a good game though, man. The only warning, just don't let it consume your life. It can be, for some people, it's a great full-time career that they make great money at. The freedom to work when they want, travel, and there are people out there that make a really good living at it. But there is a darker side of that coin. There's people that it consumes them.
It ruins them. It really does, And I'll be honest, I would rather deal with somebody who is a drug addict financially than somebody who would overstep their bounds and not think about their bankroll while playing poker.
Definitely.
You're a lot safer if you have your money invested into somebody that, and your time invest in somebody that doesn't care about their bankroll. Like, you really need to give that a thought, And it takes a lot of discipline. Like, the bankroll is like the last thing that most guys think about. They think about playing the game. They don't realize that the other big mathematical situation that's involved is bankrolling what direction you're going on in your poker career.
Definitely, because it's not a one session kind of thing. It's a lifetime game. So you have to always be trending and being responsible financially and really good at accounting and understanding the numbers and variance. And there's a lot of technical things that go behind the game that the average person that's just playing for fun probably doesn't even look into. But when those things are taken into account and you're able to develop a very balanced strategy that works for you, that has been tested, either live or online, depending on how you prefer to play, it can become a very, very lucrative side hustle for sure. And I've dabbled from going full-time to just keeping it on the side, and what works best for me personally is to keep it as a really good side job. I know I'm not the type of person that wants to transition into that entire life all the time. as there are risks to putting up your money, because it's the only job in the world you can go work an 8-hour day and actually lose money at it. So, that's a disclaimer and a fair warning to anybody that's on the fence about trying to really get into it. Do your homework,
you
man.
You are always
going
to have bad days, too.
Right.
There's not going to be, every day is not going to go your way.
Nope.
It's not. And you're going to have to get used to failure when that happens and not let that adversely affect you.
That's very true, man. It's one of the hardest parts about the game, because if you hit a downswing where it goes south for a while, it may not end for a while. You may be going in there and just putting off buy-in after buy-in after buy-in.
Yeah.
For, it could be a one-time thing where you lose, or it could go on for months. I mean, I've experienced it all, man. The game is beautiful because it is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if somebody has a very successful career or whatever they're doing. You have all different types of people playing. And what matters at the end of the day is how well you can play the hands that you're given and how well you can read your opponents.
And not giving away your own tells.
Right.
Not giving away. That's a very important one always to make sure of, not giving away your own tells. Putting those in a check mark,
Absolutely, man. It's, I tell you, it's just, the game has crippled me and saved me.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions. And, I've always been honest and open with you, and the public will, eventually I'll start to open up about certain things, but
yeah,
you know better than anybody else.
Right.
In my life, as far as how that game has impacted me. And at the most critical times, it has delivered every time that I've absolutely needed it to. And I will always thank poker for that. It kept me from being homeless twice now.
Yeah.
So, it's not something I want to admit to the public, but I don't know. It's hard to describe the mindset, but sometimes you just have to face fear. You have to get up one more time. You have to just sink your teeth into what you're doing, and just your back's against the wall, and realize that for good, better, or indifferent, this is the path that you chose. Okay? And you have to see it through to the end, even when it means risking everything. And that, to me, is the most beautiful part of the game, is that sometimes it does go your way, and it goes your way way better than your expectation. And you're able to just feel the game out, the table, the people. You're able to read them, and then before you know it, there's all this subtle information that's being given out that you're acutely in tune to, that gives you an advantage, because it comes back down to the competition thing and the psychological game. And if he thinks this and I'm doing this, then what is his reaction going to be? And you're planning 3 or 4 or 5, 6 levels deeper into what's actually going on, because at the end of the day, all it is high-risk, short-term investment with chips that have a monetary value.
Yeah. And
your cards are your stocks. That's really what it is. So, let me ask you something, man. What's your take on playing poker? Like, what do you think about it? What's your objective opinion? Because I know I've always kind of, let you in on, like, what I'm doing as far as just how I go about it or whatever, but, most of the time you're not here with me in the situation, or you're actually involved. So I'm just curious. And,
if I was going to start playing again, I start playing live. So this is a thing that a lot of guys don't know. Okay. A lot of guys don't know, like, I guess some people do know. Okay. So I don't want to say a lot of guys don't know, but like all the online games, most of them are all ran on the same algorithm. Like they're all by the same algorithm. They all run them on the same algorithm. The problem with that is that they strangely change the way the game is played every 14 days. You can almost mark it like clockwork if you've played in the last 5 years, that the algorithm online keeps changing itself. Like you play the first half of the month and like everything kind of plays like a live game does. But the second half of the month, all of a sudden some very strange things happen. And they're very noticeable over time. And I've used this I've ran up a bankroll over $350. Basically with no money, just free rolled it. Basically being able to take the sound. But it's never exactly right. All of a sudden, ace queen becomes worth more than ace king. And your first thought is, well, why does that even make sense? But somehow on these online algorithms, ace queen becomes worth more than ace king. It'll hit more often. You'll notice it. You'll see other people hit with it more often. And there becomes this really disparaging situation where certain hands that shouldn't win in most situations will start winning. And you'll see it. Like you'll see sixes hit trips more than any other pocket pair. You'll see all these crazy situations. And James had brought it up the other day. He's like, man, none of us should be playing online poker anymore. And I kind of agreed. And it was some great advice that was given to me. And I was like, you can't count on it. Because if you don't know what cycle you're in, you're going to miss. And if you spend the time to figure out the cycles, you've spent too much time investment into making your money.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that was one of the things Alec and I talked about last weekend. Because I was kind of trying to figure out the best strategy for me going forward and trying to progress through the ranks, because I've always been stuck in the low stakes, occasionally taking shots at mid-stakes tournaments, but the end result has always brought me back to where, I've never broken out of the 1-3 and the 200 or less buy-ins for,
right.
multi-table tournaments. And we were talking about that as far as just, you got so many things you're battling too, because there's a lot of collusion. There are poker bots out there on all the sites.
Tons.
And there's a ton of software that can fish your information and hand histories to where it's like they have a really, really good understanding of your playing tendencies.
It's true.
And you don't even know it. At least when you're playing live, they have to look you in the eye before they make a decision.
It's true.
And I feel like that levels it a lot, too. You probably can't make as much money, but it seems to be a lot more legitimate as far as the fairness of it and the playability.
When everybody has a play history on you, you know what I mean? With everybody you're playing, or half the people you're facing are bots, you know what I mean? There's a level of collusion and cheating there that's it just can't be done at a regular poker table. If you even feel, and I'm going to bring up something you've brought up before. If you feel that at any point in time, the deck that you're dealing with is rigged at an actual casino, you can wave your hands and ask for a new setup. And they have to bring in a new deck and dealer. I imagine they'll kick you out if you repeatedly kept on doing it. But you can do it. Like you see two weird hands in a row at a real poker table, you can ask for a new setup.
Yeah, the worst they can do is tell you no. I mean, but I have employed that strategy before when it works when you're card dead sometimes, and it's been hours of just unplayable hands, and you're just sitting there bored out of your mind, staring at the TV, talking to random people about nothing.
At this point in time, you don't even want to be in the fucking conversation. You know what I mean? Because like you're dealing with you've been card dead. You haven't even been part of the conversation. You're just some guy at the table, some weird hands have happened. Some weird people got some weird, and it not just like one out of every 100, but like bam, 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 over and over again. You're like, well, I'm going to call for a new setup.
Yeah, I've noticed some weird patterns before. The one that always trips me out is when you get the same pocket pair hand, 2 hands in a row when they're different decks. I feel like
that's weird.
Mathematically unlikely. But, we all have bad beat stories and things that have happened that are out of the norm. If you've played enough hands, you already know. And if you play poker, none of this is new to you at all. It's funny patterns about it. And I generally do enjoy the fact that it's a great networking opportunity, too. And a lot of people miss that when they go and play live poker. It is one of the best places to go and network for business.
Right.
And just services, because, you converse with people about what they do in life. And I can't tell you how many people have pitched me before as far as, hey, I've got this business or whatever. I'm a lawyer. I'm an insurance salesman. Here's my card. And even if you don't contact them, it's a great opportunity for people to meet face to face in a competitive yet friendly environment. And it's one of those things. It's one of those unspoken things that nobody I've ever really talked to or conversed with or even looked up to in a professional sense of the game really discusses, because most of the guys that, I mentioned earlier, they all do this pro full time.
Yeah.
But for the average Joe like myself that's just out there grinding away and trying to just go out and make an hourly wage, it's one of those things that just goes unspoken. And I feel like people should pay more attention to that, because people are going to be open and receptive when they're there on their Friday night and they've just, busted their ass all week trying to get through Monday through Friday, and they're just looking forward to their 3 or 4 or 5 hour little session after work on Friday night, where they just get to settle back, have a couple beers, and try to win the other guy's paycheck. I kind of dig that. It has a very interesting dynamic.
I like it. I can dig it. Yeah, I can definitely dig that. And you meet a lot of those people like that. Going to a poker place on the weekend, sometimes, like, if it's near a convention center, depending on what convention is in town, you can kind of score. If you got a little tech convention that's near a casino, where
holidays are always great. There's concerts, depending on where you're at.
Bigger concerts, yeah.
The more people that are around, the easier the games are. And that's the thing, man. I've played in a lot of different states in this country, and I have to admit that the people in St. Louis are a little bit harder to play against than the people in other parts of the country. I've had better luck in San Diego. I mean, San Diego used to have a great card room called Palomar Card Club.
Great club.
Used to be my go-to spot. We mentioned it earlier on a podcast. Being next to the great Roberto's Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
For the great breakfast burritos. But rest in peace, Palomar Card Club. Shout out to all my friends. They used to play out there, the dealers, floor guys.
You went to several. Didn't you go to several other bigger tournaments with some of those guys?
Yeah. There was. You meet some of the bigger guys that come from Vegas, man. When they want to get out of town and go be near the beach, they'll come down for a week and just play every day, and it's a working vacation for them. Because I fuck living in the desert in the summertime. It sucks. Believe me. 5 years in Yuma. I learned.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness.
That's totally
210
different
to
subject
Yuma.
for sure.
Burn yourself to death.
On that note, I think it's time to have another shot. What do you folks say? I mean, it's Saturday night. With that Wild Turkey American Honey, round 2. Miller High Life, champagne and beer.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Shout out to Wild Turkey. Thank you very much for American Honey.
Woo!
Woo.
Man.
Wash that down with the champagne of beers.
I hear ya.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, man.
So
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Feeling good. Feeling good. Man, I heard they're really cracking down on drinking and driving and doping, man. Up there in St. Louis this weekend.
Yeah, man, there are cops posted up literally everywhere. That's why I am drinking at home and doing the podcast on the Saturday evening.
Damn
you
right,
cannot
man.
You cannot get a DWI in your garage, to the best of my knowledge. If you're a police officer, can correct me, or a lawyer, feel free to chime in the comments. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you dig the content. We'll be doing this from now until, well, at least one of us drops dead, so
hey,
it's not really a race, but...
Fuck, man. Hopefully not. You know, so yeah, man. Dude, so yeah, man, your poker life's been going really good. Things have been going well there. What would you like to talk about, man?
Man, you know what's been on my mind off and on this week that we haven't really talked about, that I think is going to be something that is going to be massive. And what I'd like to talk about is that Mcgregor fight coming up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I really want to know what you think about that fight, because I honestly have sat back and thought about it. I feel like if Conor loses, that could almost be the signal of his exit. What do
derailment.
you think?
You think it's derailment?
I think he might fold up shop, man.
It's a possibility, man. That's well, dude, like, he's hyped himself so well. He's done a really great job. And understand, like, as a young up-and-comer with the skills, you know what I mean, that he has great, amazing striking, the ability to put you out in one punch in his weight divisions. And that was, especially when he was at his lower weight, you know what I mean? Those divisions don't really have knockout artists.
No.
The lighter weight divisions, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, guys get knocked out, usually punches and bunches. But, dude, he has that one-punch power at those weights. And that really, and really great precision. Really great precision. Not taking anything away from him. You know?
No,
the biggest test
Conor
of his
McGregor.
career, you know, besides Diaz, when he came up, his biggest test of his career was, like, when he got put down by Chad Mendes in the first round of their fight. And then he came back to knock out Chad Mendes.
Yeah, that was a fucking phenomenal fight.
Yeah. You know, he got put down, you know what I mean, on the feet he was winning, but dude, he got put down, he got punched a little bit, and then he comes back in a second and he fucking knocks him out. It really kind of defined that situation. Then, when he knocked out Jose Aldo in the first round, that first punch.
How about how he called it out, too, where he was
he's like,
just
I'm just going to knock you out. Practicing the punch backstage. Practicing the punch backstage.
Yeah, that was...
No one even believed that he practiced it. It's so weird when you look at when you watch it the second time, that UFC, and you watch the movements he makes backstage. He was practicing that punch.
It's like he already knew how to beat him before he walked in the ring.
Right. He practiced that lean in, that lean back, that threw him off. Aldo comes in. He used that counter and knocked him out.
Yeah.
He did that weird karate stance lean out. You know what I mean? And Aldo's like, he doesn't know what he's wham.
Yeah, I just think his fight preparation as a whole is light years beyond his competition. His trash talking.
His trash talking is amazing. His psychological
warfare.
Dude, he must have read The Art of War like fucking 30 times. You know?
Had to.
And like in this fight with Khabib though, the big thing is that my belief is that if he can survive the first two, I don't know, man. If he can knock out Khabib in the first 2 rounds and prevent himself from like just getting, let's be honest, Khabib's been wrestling bears since he was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
You know, just like some fucking Siberian craziness. And we've all seen his level of takedowns. Khabib's level of takedowns. There's not been, like GSP, I think he finally took out, GSP as being the guy that can take down anybody. Like,
yes.
Khabib just like, and when he takes you down, just like he takes you the fuck down.
Definitely.
So that's the test. Can Conor stay on his feet or land the big punch whenever Khabib's coming in?
That's one of those things that'll swing either way within seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's can Conor land, can Conor prevent the takedown, or can Conor land the strike while Khabib is coming in? Because I think once they get to the ground, I don't think that Conor better be training, basically get the fuck up off the ground. I don't think that Conor has any room to be training for, he shouldn't be training subs off his back. He needs to be training, just get up. Get the fuck, he needs to go train with like Chuck Liddell on his like get up skills from getting taken down. Because Chuck used to get up from just about anybody. And then he'd get up and finish the fight. But I think if he gets into some deep water with Khabib on the ground, it's scary. I think he has
to keep the fight on his feet or he's in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble.
But Khabib's undefeated, man. I mean, he hasn't faced adversity like Conor because it's just, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's getting promoted as well as the Diaz fights or
right.
The Mayweather thing. It's really just not getting pushed like it was. There hasn't been much of a media blitz. I haven't seen really all that much on the internet about it. And it's at the end of next month, right?
Yeah, and I think it's riskier to Conor's career than anything else he's ever faced.
Do you think if he loses, he retires?
No. One thing besides Conor, all the Irish fighters, right?
Yeah.
This is the big thing that I've noticed, is that they're completely grateful and gracious in defeat no matter how much shit they talk. That's the difference. That's the real luck of the Irish, if you want me to be honest.
Yeah.
I watched another fucking shit talk, like a dude that's who wants to basically be Conor. It's an Irish fighter in Bellator. His brother owns one of the Bellator belts, but they're like brothers. And he was talking mad shit before the fight. And you'll notice it during the Diaz bout, whenever Diaz beat him, how gracious he was in defeat, at least in that moment in time. And that's kind of what makes them lovable.
Yeah.
They talk all the shit through the whole fucking deal. And then, if they get beat, it's like, oh, they're completely grateful and gracious in defeat. And everyone wants to love them more.
Right.
They want to love him more.
The other reason people love Conor, it's straight up the story of an underdog and a guy that just, like, he went all in with his fucking dreams, dude. He fucking gave it everything. And when nobody believed in him, he had the mental strength and the courage to believe in himself. And he proved everybody fucking wrong.
Right.
And there isn't a human being out there on the planet that can't get behind that story. Love him or hate him, he is fucking notoriously infamous.
Have you, I don't know if you have at all. You ever watch any of the Contender series for the new people that are coming into the UFC?
Yeah.
All right. What scares me is they try to run that storyline on so many people. Like, I forget what it was. I was watching an episode last night, and I was just like, I was almost horrified, if that makes any kind of sense. Like, this guy was like, yeah, I dropped out of college. I quit my this and that. I dumped my girlfriend. This and this and this. And he went out there for the Contender series, right? And he got annihilated.
Yeah, of course he did.
And I was just
like his whole support system.
I was just like, wow.
That's one thing you have to respect about all the people in Conor's inner corner is that they had his back no matter what. He knew going forward with everything that he did that no matter what,
he had
the love of his girl, the love of his family, and the support of his team.
It's true.
And that means a lot. It really does, because if they see enough in you to believe in you, it just, you end up with a Conor McGregor type of person with the fearless confidence that dude has. Whether or not he loses a fight, he will still give you his A game every time. And that motherfucker can sell a fight.
The one thing I'd like to say about, like, AKA and like the Greg Jackson camp is those are probably the two biggest camps in UFC. You know, AKA you got fucking Cormier, and you got Luke Rockhold. You got tons of people in that camp, and then, like, you got John Jones at fucking, Jackson, Winkle John. You got Holly Holmes. The thing about those two camps is, as you see the people that are the head of those camps, Jackson, and you got Javier Mendez at AKA, you see those guys corner people even when the fights aren't gigantic superstar fights.
Right.
I think that's made the hugest difference. Those two guys, those two camps, they care so much about their fighters that they'll take time, just like, because you even see them on the Contender. You know what I mean? These guys may or may not make it into the UFC. Even if you win your fight by spectacular, you might not even get a contract.
Right.
You might not get in. Those guys still come out there, all the time. All the time.
That's what it takes, though. I mean, you have to really, really believe in what you're doing.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. I just didn't quite make it there, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. You got to have... Dude, it's going to be a huge fight. It's going to be the biggest fight in UFC history. That's probably going to be the biggest card in UFC history. Nearly guarantee it.
Yeah, it'll be close. I think what they're setting up for is either the McGregor-Diaz 3 and then possibly the GSP fight that I still think is going to happen.
I'd like to see McGregor-Diaz 3 first, and then McGregor-GSP.
Yeah. That would be a shtick 2019 if those two fights were on the schedule for sure. Are you hearing us, Dana? Make that shit happen. The public has spoken. We want to see that. Shut up and take my fucking money for the pay-per-view. Just shut up and take our fucking money. We love you guys. You guys have an awesome organization. Fucking just the greatest shit ever.
It's true. Dude, I'm saying, dude, like, yeah, if fucking, I want to see that fucking, McGregor DS3, like, we'll throw a party, man. We'll straight up fucking throw a fucking party, and just like, grill out and fucking have beer, maybe even get a keg, and just fucking
get a keg and maybe a sit and go while it's going on. I don't know.
Dude, I would love
to. A little fucking home tournament, huh? I'll take your fucking money, motherfucker. I'll snap your ass off so quick. Oh shit! Yeah, man, it's gonna be a great fight either way. We should definitely plan on that. I need to make some calls. We gotta put that together for sure.
Definitely. That could be just it could be amazing.
It's weird, but I think it's better than the Mayweather-McGregor fight. Honestly,
well, dude, that was a gigantic cash grab for both of them.
Yeah.
Like, there was no... It's a gigantic cash grab, man. Like, it was just... And we all knew it, because, like, you can't compare... You can't send a guy... Because, like, okay, McGregor's skills are basically kickboxing. You know what I mean? Like, he's got the kicks, he's got the punches, you know what I mean? But, dude, if you take away either one of those things, like... It affects his ability to slip things through.
Definitely.
His kicks set up his punches. His punches, they set up that knockout power.
Yeah.
All of it does. It's the ability to, like... it's ability to be a ninja. You know what I mean? Because, like, he's trying to slip that left. That left hits you, or that fucking, probably right kick hits you. You're out. But, dude, he loses that. He can't set up his left with the fucking inside kick. He starts losing weapons. But Mayweather, fucking, he has all these extra weapons. Like, he has that weird lead punch. He's got that weird, awkward, The man has taken less damage than anyone else in boxing history. For the amount of fights he's fought. You can't fight him as a boxer, but you can get paid. Big time paid. 100 mil paid.
Fucking paid out the ass.
Could you imagine going from being that dude who, like, lived with the girlfriend, lived off welfare, to train? And you made, like, maybe a couple mil in the UFC, and then we were worth 100 mil? 100 mil. Was smart enough not to go into movies.
Yeah.
We all saw what happened to Ronda. Now she's in the goddamn UFC, in the fucking WWE.
A great move on her part.
Oh, I know, man. She's probably making, $5-10 million a year.
It seems like a good transition out of the UFC for her.
Dude.
And I'm happy for her. I mean, she brought the women's fighting game to the international spotlight. Like, it's to see what's transpired in the last 6 or 7 years in the UFC. It's amazing what they've done with that organization.
She basically did what Gina Carano couldn't.
Right.
And because what they did to Gina Carano was they built up her career and then put her against Cyborg. And Cyborg demolished her like a goddamn, like fucking Vanderlei Silva in his prime fucking wearing a female suit. Like, it was that bad. Like, she never fought again. Yeah, Gina Carano never fought again. Like, it was over with. Cyborg fucking tore her to pieces. But she was the hot, you know what I mean?
Right.
Kickboxer. She'd done some matches in Thailand. Had some, you know, basically the lesser of a Holly Holmes.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't want to fight any of them. Those girls would whoop my ass. I'm 5'7" on a good day when I stretch. They'll all ass, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, no disrespect to any of the female fighters out there. Please don't put my ass down and whip my ass in a gas station parking lot or whatever. Nothing but respect. Nothing. Anybody who goes out there and, you know, puts themselves out in the international spotlight in a cage against one other person for the whole world to see.
Some balls.
My hat's off to you for the amount of balls and commitment it takes to even get into the ring. I mean, that is
true.
That's commendable. That's, you know, it's just they're a different breed of people, dude. They're trained fucking killers, and it's the closest to the modern day gladiators that we have.
Oh, there's definitely parallels, man. There's definite parallels. They are our modern gladiators. You know? That's what UFC fighters are. That's what MMA fighters are. So Chael Sonnen is supposed to fight Fedor here pretty soon. It's sad. It's sad. Dude, I'm going to say this, dude. It's sad how far Fedor has fallen, you know, and not just gotten out of the sport and just trained people. You know, he went through Pride and he stomped everyone who was anyone. All of them. He crushed them. Just crushed them.
Yeah, he beat their ass.
I remember whenever Tim Sylvia was the UFC champion, he had just lost it. Like, basically his contract ran out and he thought he would go to Affliction and fight. And he fought Fedor. And it was the fucking nastiest fight I'd ever seen in my life. Like, the opening of the fight was just like him getting hit in the face, just destroyed. Like, he didn't even get a chance to fucking throw a punch. Like, just demolished. And Tim Sylvia's career never recovered. It never fucking went anywhere ever again. And then he played in the minor leagues forever. He went from literally UFC champ to fucking, like, the Barnyard League. Who knows if the guy's even alive anymore? Like, he got destroyed. Demolished. And it was just tons of that for years. And then, like, he lost to fucking Werdum. And, of course, like, Werdum actually went on to become the UFC champion. You know, that was his first loss, his first real loss ever. Was against Werdum. But then it became a thing. He could lose. Then he lost to Henderson. Then he lost to, you know, Bigfoot Silva. Just kind of like what happened with Chuck Liddell. Like, once that first loss happened, like, everyone was like, he can lose. They all had.
Everybody can lose.
What?
Anybody can lose.
Oh, yeah, but there's a swing of things. You know what I mean? There's a swing. Someone with a great record that hasn't lost. The mental thing against their opponent becomes, but they've beaten so many people. They've beaten that's what stacks again.
And that's why I think Khabib might be at a slight disadvantage, because he knows that he is about to go up against the one person that is going to fight him on every level. The psychological warfare, the striking. Someone who has faced defeat and came back and risen up. He has more to lose in this
No,
point.
he doesn't. He's got nothing. He's just got a record. Dude, think about think about Conor. Like, the guy is fighting for millions of dollars. Like, we're not talking like UFC money. We're
Right.
talking like we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. So like, I don't think that, and it's weird, okay? If Conor was anybody else, I would be like, okay, if Conor loses, he's gonna lose all his jazz and lose all his fucking momentum.
Right.
I don't even think he cares about the UFC.
I disagree with that. The only reason I say that is he seems like a loyal guy. He knows that they made him, and they gave him the platform to be able to become who he is.
Dude, he has enough clout that he could, without him going back to the UFC. Okay, understand, the company's like billions of dollars. Like, there's like millions and billions of dollars in debt. They got to recoup the cost of 2.4 billion?
Now it's 4.2
Oh, 4.2 billion.
billion.
And they've been struggling to do so. I mean, struggling to do so.
Of course.
So,
The interest on that loan.
yeah.
Loan.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to even fathom.
Yeah.
It's so much money. So, like, if Conor didn't play ball, what would they do? He's the biggest draw they have. This is like Muhammad Ali, at the peak of boxing. Except for boxing is in the hole for more money than they can even think about. The guy that can get them out of the hole would have been Muhammad Ali. That's Conor. Conor's their Muhammad Ali. The guy that has the ability to promote the fight to where people will buy it and actually come to the fight.
Right.
I think he has a little bit of sway over them in a way, in a weird way.
His personality is what sells it, man. It really, it's half of his game. But he studied the fight game as a whole. He wasn't just good at fighting. He studied the entire thing, the entire business, all the way around. And he put forward a game plan that has been unmatched in the UFC. It's just, you can't even argue it.
It's true. It's very true.
So, all right then. Well, this brings me to my next question about it then. Gentlemen's bet. Who's your money on? And just for the public to know, and our people listening and everybody, a gentleman's bet between us is a 6-pack of Winner's Choice of beer. Who's your money on?
If it's the same thing, it's the same thing. So, my money is actually on Khabib.
Right. Okay. So we do have a bet because I'm all in with Conor.
My thought behind the process is that I think Khabib could. The earlier situation, you know about the dolly throwing and the bus situation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was an attempt to make a political statement and try to bring fear into the Khabib camp.
Right.
But he's got Javier Mendez in his corner. I mean, he is an AKA fighter. That means he trains with fucking Cormier. He trains with, he trains with a lot of great fighters. That was an attempt to bring some psychological tension to the fight. And of course, it cost him, a little bit of money, but
Oh man, that was a
total setup. Total setup. You know.
Yeah.
We both know that. Total setup.
Just like when Mcgregor posted that thing on Facebook.
He actually went to court
about 8 or 9 months before the Mayweather fight. About he put a picture up with boxing shoes on. He set the whole fight up in advance.
Yeah.
This has all been a planned move, and that's why I think he's going to win, is because mentally none of these dudes are going to touch him.
Well, my thought is if he fucking takes some dudes down, you know what I mean? Like, if he gets taken down early, that first round, like he slips the punch, he slips the, you know, he gets that big takedown. He fought Chad Mendes, and of course, Mendes is a good, he's a good, decent, you know, American wrestler. But he's not Khabib. He's not Khabib. Khabib's going to pin him, going to put him in the center of the ring, and then it's going to be, if Khabib's smart, I would just try to tire him out. Make him carry my weight for the whole fucking round.
Right.
You know, make him wear his arms out to where his punches aren't as hard. Make him wear his, you know what I mean? Wear him out.
I want to bring this up to the audience, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys throw in your 2 cents in the top vote for my selection. If McGregor wins, pick the beer that I'm going to have Richie get me.
Hey, guys.
So leave it in the comments and do it for Richie, too.
Hey.
We'll let the audience decide what we're drinking.
Yeah, dude. Hey, if I win in my decision, I want you guys to pick my beer that I get to drink. All right? So, yeah, leave that in the comments, guys. We love it when people comment, you know. I'd love to hear what beer you guys would like me to drink or James drink, you know. It's fucking awesome. It has to be something we can get in the United States, though.
Yeah, that's a good disclaimer. Unless you want to send it to us, I mean, that's cool. We will drink the alcohol sent to us.
Very true, you know. But yeah, I think that my personal opinion, I think, and I can read it from the opposite, you know, the opposite side. Conor keeps it standing and punches him out. Because this is not a fight like with a Diaz versus Conor situation. That's completely different because they can both punch each other the fuck out on the feet in the future, you know. Either one of them can win on the feet. So I think that fight in the future, you know who I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick Diaz, and you're still going to pick Conor. Well, at least that's the way it was the first time. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think if the fight goes especially the fourth round.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, whoever has the best cardio. And especially, I think if Khabib goes for too many takedowns before the fourth round, he could be gassed. But it's a possibility.
But if he lands one early, you know, and catches them both when they're fresh and does exactly what you said, where he just, you know, he's on top of them and just wearing his ass out, it could be a one-way street because his ground game's not as probably not as good.
We saw it in the fucking Diaz fight. It was,
you know, but that was 2 years ago, man. So
I hope to God he
changed.
Literally just sat in a fucking jiu-jitsu gym, you know, and got a wrestling coach and just like, I hope he fucking literally called up Dan Henderson and was like, please God, teach me how to wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Henderson, you're retired. Please, need some help. You know?
Absolutely.
Not to say I don't love Conor McGregor. I love the guy. He's flamboyant. He's very entertaining. Very, very entertaining. How gracious he is in defeat, you know what I mean? I love it. You know? That's why other fans love him. It's not just when he wins, whenever he fucking loses, you know?
You know that you're getting 110%
Oh,
of
yeah.
that dude in
Oh,
every
yeah.
fight.
You know what I mean? He believed in himself, and, like, he's not going to be a dick when he loses.
Right. Yeah, I feel like the UFC is going to definitely be ratcheting up the promotion here right around the turn of the month. So look for it in the next week or so, folks. You know, let us know your thoughts. Let's get a poll going in the comments. Why don't you leave who you think's going to win? Honestly, let's see where the audience is at. Who do you think wins this fight? Because I could see it going either way, but my money and my six-pack is still on McGregor because I'm going to go with the guy that I believe in, man. I believe his story. I believe in him. Dude's an inspiration. He should be to all you other people, too. And, you know, just figuring out a way to maximize your potential. That's what that dude does. He is a poignant example of that. And that can be across any field.
It's true. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, he's very he's very charismatic, you know.
Yeah.
Very, very charismatic.
I'm going to call those 3 fights out like this. Okay? McGregor beats Khabib. I think he beats Diaz.
All right.
And loses to GSP.
Oh,
assuming those last 2 fights happen.
I think the GSP fight is just so much.
You think it's harder to make?
Dude, it's such a speculative fight. You got to think like.
GSP went back down in weight since the Bisping fight.
Well, he's walking around at 205 now. He beat Bisping and quit.
Well, he had colitis because he had been taking in 15,000 calories a day to bulk up for it. And something happened with his digestive system.
No, I know.
Where he
started intermittent fasting. Yeah, he started intermittent fasting after the fight to basically come down, and he said he probably won't ever. But think about this, like, dude, look at a guy like him, like 185, maybe. I mean, like that'd be like a walk around weight, maybe.
Right.
You know, he's still like. He still He never stopped training. Like, everybody forgets about that. Like, he never stopped fucking training, even when he quit. He trained like a motherfucker, even after that. For Rasa Hobby's gym up in Canada. But, dude, I don't know. What would be a comfortable weight for them to actually fight at? That's the scarier part.
It'd have to be a catchweight thing.
It would, but it's just like it's one of those things. Like,
it's somewhere around 175, I would think.
So the thought would be, can he make 175? Can GSP make that? I mean, I know that, you know, welterweight champion of the world at one point in time, but we all get old and our metabolism changes and.
Yeah, but the almighty dollar sure motivates people to do things that they otherwise wouldn't naturally do. Yeah. So that's yet to be told, man. I think watching the UFC over the next year and a half is going to be extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Those guys are the top of their game. Even with GSP getting older, he would still be the wrong fucking guy to piss off at a bar. You don't want to hit on his girlfriend. No fucking way, man. No way. They all seem humble, though, as people. It's an interesting dynamic, for sure.
Yeah, they all seem like pretty, you know, all the guys that who are on the up and up, they all seem like pretty great people. They kind of weeded. Once USADA came in and everyone got drug tested like a motherfucker, like everybody who wasn't like kind of cleared out.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they should have just let everybody do roids, personally.
Like, just turn it to Japan to say, fuck it.
Man, if you're willing to go in that ring and beat somebody's ass, who gives a shit if you're juicing?
Shit, do you remember the Smash Machine? Like, dude, Kerr was fucking crazy. Like, the dude was, like, literally filled with Mexican supplements. Like, the dude was, like, more Mexican supplements than man. Mark Kerr was just, like, he was called a Smash Machine because, dude, he would pull off fucking submissions that, like, shouldn't even really be submissions. He was so juiced to the gills. Like, he'd be able to turn, like, regular wrestling moves, like a can opener or something like that, and turning it into a deadly fucking submission. Like, literally be able to pull your fucking neck towards your chest, and, like, you'd feel like he was going to rip your head off. And people would sub from that. You would think he was going to rip your, literally, like your spinal cord off. Yeah. That's how juiced to the gills that guy was. There's a documentary about it called The Smash Machine. And, like, he was just juiced. I mean, he even admitted it. Like, he was taking, like handfuls of Oxycontin on top of, like, shooting, like, the most fucking horse steroids and craziness. Just goddamn monster. Goddamn monster. Yeah, it was like early UFC fucking Pride era. Shit. And all of a sudden one day he, like, gained a heart. It was just like, I can't do this anymore. All time. Yeah, I talked a lot of shit about him earlier, but dude, Fedor is probably one of my favorite fighters of all time.
I'm here.
Dude, he went through a tear, man.
Amazing shit, man.
I love the UFC. Fucking tear. And he tore through everybody. Yeah, wasn't gonna do it. Yeah.
Who's your favorite fighter of all time? Yeah.
Dude, I think that would be awesome, though, man. Doing a shot of vodka with Fedor.
Yeah.
Be amazing.
Dude. You're
Oh, dude, I think we go with Tito's, man. We go with Tito's.
Richie is a big fucking dude.
6-time distilled, only $20 a bottle.
I would never fight you ever, man. No matter what. And there were a few times I thought you were going to clock me in the fucking head throughout our lives, and you never did. Thanks. Couldn't afford the hospital bill, you know what I mean?
Fucking Fedor is
but dude,
I have a tattoo of him on my
shoulder. I would never get between. If I were you, I would never get between you, Fedor,
my left shoulder,
and like vodka. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not trying to make assumptions about Russians and vodka or whatever. But I'm just gonna be like, dude, if we need the vodka, like, let's just go to the liquor store, you know what I mean? Let him get it. Maybe we can do a shot with him. I don't know.
The mafia. You know what I mean? And like, he could have trained so many more.
Now the question is, if we had to buy it, would it be the country club shit or the pop off, or would we have to splurge and hit the sky?
And he should have retired. You know,
deal. Yeah, man, because I'd be like, dude, it's not worth taking the bottle, bro.
Right before he fought,
be your voice the reason. He'll kill you, and I can't help you. He'll beat my ass too.
I hate to say this, African American guy with a mohawk. Like that guy's disappeared from the whole scene, but right before he faced that guy,
I know you do.
Scott Coker's defunct, not Bellator, but whatever the fuck was before Bellator.
Do you regret the tattoo now?
Basically, Fedor looked a little weak in that fight. Like he didn't come off exactly the way he used to, and
yeah, of
I was like,
course.
Oh, he got remarried. I was like, oh fuck. He got remarried. Well, that's what happens, man. You fucking get pussy and you get way too much of it.
Right.
Boom. Gotcha. But dude, like that's the last thing you want right before a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude, you're gonna, yeah. So, whenever he fought this guy, he nearly lost. Like, he landed a fucking overhand right that fucking knocked the dude out in the second round, but like, the first round was not, nope. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The first round was ugly.
So,
first round was really ugly, and I was like, oh shit.
So you think she like fucked the testosterone out of him or something?
Yeah, the next fight he had was against fucking Werdum, and that's when he lost.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And he's been losing ever since.
I tell you, dude, that's the tractor beam of fucking boom.
Well, Father Vagina does too.
Shout out to all the ladies with the fucking golden vaginas.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, Mother Vagina. I'm just saying, man, like the dude.
Fuck no, you'd have to cut yourself off for like a month, I would think, to just be like fully charged to just fuck somebody up.
Got him. You know, he fucking got him. Pussy.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, once you have everything, think about it. The guy was basically a national treasure.
You know, Father Time gets us all.
In Russia, a national treasure.
Isn't that
the
Mother
guy's a
Vagina?
National treasure in Russia, so. I mean, with that being said, it's like, well,
not arguing that point, man.
Yeah. Your shit's gonna be all fucked up. Dude, he's hung out with Putin several times. That I know of. Like, they're friends.
And sometimes when you have good Russian vodka and creme de la creme of the pussy, you find that your focus and aggression are not of the same type.
Well, dude, he's trained Sambo with Putin. Yeah. He's trained Sambo with Putin. He's trained with Putin.
You get comfortable.
Yeah.
You get comfortable.
Right. Well, dude, you know Putin has fucking dude, he has multiple black belts in a lot of martial arts.
Do you think he gets drunk with Putin?
He's a 7th degree judokan. He's like a like a 5th degree. No, he's a 7th degree in
you have to be friends with Putin. You don't want to get on the wrong side of that guy's fucking karate. You know what I mean? Like,
that's one of the
you piss that dude off, you're either going to do life in Siberia,
like
busting up icebergs with other chunks of ice,
martial arts that compete in
or you're
kickboxing. And Kyokushin karate is one of them. It is one of the only
Putin's like my size, dude, and Fedor's like your size. It'd just be like, if I was Putin and you were fucking Fedor, it'd be like, well, dude, I know you can kick my ass and shit, but you might not want to do it. You know what I mean?
A lot of great martial artists come from Kyokushin.
It's cold as fucking Siberia, bro. I'm just saying.
Like Judokan, like there's several others, dude, and I'm just like, holy shit, like you're kidding me. Like how the fuck does he even, have time for all this?
I would not fuck with that old man either.
Yeah. How does he have time for all this? No, I think he earned a lot of it. At least. I think a lot of it's become politics over the years, though. If you want me to be honest, I think some of it's become politics over the years. Like, we give him a 7th. We'll give him a 7th from a 6 or. Missile. Well, dude, like, there's plenty of video of like him training and shit, but dude, like, exactly how much time does he have? Like, holy shit. Like Jet Li's a multiple, build.
Dude, he's running the fucking country and preventing World War III. I mean.
Really?
Like, where do you get the time? I mean, KGB. Do you think it was just given to him, or do you think he actually earned it?
What happened?
Yeah. Has to be. Well, if we give him the belt, he won't fucking throw us in Siberia. You are now the 7th degree. I mean, I'm not trying to question the guy because he might send a fucking thermonuclear strike to where we're at, respectively, in the country. And, I'm not trying to have any of those kind of problems. Send an agent and fucking drop off.
Do you remember the Forbidden Kingdom? Dude, when he plays because he said he would never play opposite of Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan always played this funny character, right?
Yeah, man, I heard Jet Li's not doing
then
too
he
good
goes through.
Dude.
Jackie Chan plays the serious character.
Yeah, I saw something a while ago.
And he plays the Monkey King.
He's not doing well. Like, he's got some,
and like the most of all the characters,
I can't say specifically
like in mythology,
because I don't really remember, but there was a post a while ago on Facebook,
it's so
maybe
awesome.
3 or 4 months ago.
Like, he plays the character that is
his health isn't
the
well.
Quintessential, like when
shout
it
out
comes
to Jet
to
Li, man. I love you,
Chinese
dude.
Characters,
you've been in some great movies. You've been super entertaining. You've played every character I've ever seen you in a movie very well, and I hope that you were
right.
Yeah, that was a bad motherfucking movie.
I do too.
Right.
Oh, that's a brutal character. That was a really brutal character.
It's just silly, but that's what's great about it, right? They swapped roles.
Yeah, that's around there. Yeah, 98. You know, they were just like, oh fuck, we can't even fuck with this guy. beating our ass. Yeah, it's brutal,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, dude, he is like, no
Man,
doubt
so
to, you know, no
movies are just not
disrespect to
as.
either of them. I mean, they're
We have
both
better
great in their own
technology. They're
right
just not as
and
good as storytelling.
have earned their place in international success. But yeah, man, wish we would see more movies with those guys.
What's that?
I think his best character for Jet Li was Lethal Weapon 4.
Gather around the circle. Gather around.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah. It
What,
flopped the
Mel
box
Gibson,
office.
Danny Glover, Joe Pesci. 98. Is that when that came out? It's been about 20 fucking years ago, man. That was no.
Right.
Got love for him, man.
Right.
I'll tell you what. You know what? One movie that I think is completely underrated, that is just, to me, is mind-blowing. Okay, well, all my nerd friends gather around, right? And grab your beer and your bowl or whatever.
They did.
Whatever you're doing. You know what I'm going for, right?
Yeah, I think they lost their dick on that. Like, real deal.
Yeah.
Like, they hardcore lost their dick on that shit.
It's hard to imagine.
I think it did terrible, and it did terrible. We both know it did terrible in the box office.
How fucking much potential that this movie had.
I think what the big problem with that
Warcraft movie,
it was 10 years too late.
Was just, to me, was mind-blowing to see how they had transpired characters in video games and card games that we'd played throughout the years into an actual
you think
story.
About like the current story,
and the way they put it together with CGI, I thought was brilliant. And I would love to give a shout out to Blizzard.
All the way back.
Where's the fucking sequel, guys?
And most of that
I don't know if you guys lost your ass on the production of that thing, but that was a great.
And so the current player is like, that's so old. Like, I don't even know what that is. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, most of them are like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. And so, like, person like me and you, we're like, oh, dude, I totally get it. Like, okay. You know, I can totally, I can get with it. And it makes sense. Dude, I was dating a girl.
The technology wasn't really there until when it came out, though, you know?
That, like, I would explain, like, the Frozen Throne, like, you know, that part of it from the perspective of Warcraft 3. Whenever Arthur, like, totally just, like, went bonkers, got the sword.
Right.
You know, came back, overthrew everybody.
Most of them weren't even fucking alive.
You remember how harrowing that was? Like, as like watching the story, like playing through the story, you're just like, oh shit. Oh shit. Right.
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 Yeah, it was.
It's huge.
Dude, I can't.
I really think they should have went through the StarCraft realm because it would have. You would have had the whole sci-fi genre.
I think a lot of it was too that they didn't promote it in the correct way.
I would have liked to see it with less CGI.
I really don't.
Almost like an Aliens thought of.
You got to think if they have the technology to make that kind of movie, that
the elaborate costumes, the elaborate,
level of gaming,
and I think it would have done really well.
It's not like those.
Of course, you would have had to CGI certain stuff, but I think that with the Warcraft movie, they went too far in CGI.
Cost would be more tailored towards getting the first one kicked off.
Anything,
there's such a gigantic fucking story there.
I would have liked to see it a little more grounded.
And that's only one of their main games. That's the other part, too. Like, if they went into the StarCraft realm or the Diablo realm, dude, you...
Thousands.
Right.
Thousands of dollars. Cheers.
Right.
What's up, y'all? It's we just talked about the Warcraft movie. I think that maybe if they were to just open it up a little bit more, if it was made, 5-10 years earlier, especially when the Warcraft,
Shout out to Blizzard.
You remember how big World of Warcraft was when it first came out?
You guys have cost me thousands of dollars in your entertainment, and I greatly appreciate it, as I feel it was money and time well spent.
And it definitely was. If we would have taken the time, or they would have, and then plotted the movie right then, really just put it in and really plotted the movie right then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that's what happened, man. Like, I still see all these, like I said, that the girl I just got through dating, she plays World of Warcraft, and then, like,
what's up, everybody?
Some of her friends still play, you know what I mean? But that's just not... Well, look, I'm in the middle of the Mid-South. Things get here last, and a lot of people don't understand that or realize it. So if it was hot on the coast at one point in time, this is where it comes to die. I hate to say it. This is where music comes to die. If you're discovering it now, everybody's already cycled through it for 2 or 3 years.
That was like the most addicting video game.
If it's a game, people have cycled through it for 2 or 3, 5 years. So if like you're now like, oh, okay, like we're the last players in this era. You guys are probably the last players ever. You guys are probably everybody's already rotated.
Time to strike for sure.
Next. And I hate to say that, but a lot of people don't realize that. But you read any kind of music blog about how music gets transported to the public and how labels, work on. Same thing with gaming companies. Same thing with a lot of things. This is the least populated area.
Right.
You're not a priority when it comes to marketing. When they're trying to squeeze that last, little bit out of something, that's when you're a priority. Might sound like I'm an asshole, but I promise. Look it up.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Right.
guys, I think this about wraps things up. This has been Saturday. Yeah, this is gonna be number 2 is a full one. Edit this bitch down. You know, we do. Nope.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, we just them Joes, motherfucker. We just them
Right.
Joes. You know,